and welcome to another video. So for today I will be setting up my bullet journal for the month of August. I am super excited to be back in the bullet journal. I'm super excited to have monthly setups. I just really like doing it, like the art of it. Now, I hate drawing, so when I say the art of it, I mean setting things up with my hands. I do not mean my own personal, like, artistry. Like, I'm not excited to come up with my own themes. I'm not excited to draw lots of my own doodles. No. Like with my other planning, I will be using stickers. These stickers are the Crystal Clear Monthly Kit by Planning with Kay, and it's a 3-page set. This one is pretty old, a little over a year, I think. And so her format for these changes a bit. It's 3 pages. And yeah, so not all of them look exactly the same, but they are all awesome. And because I'm a patron with her right now, subscribed to the tier where she automatically sends you the newest monthly sticker kit, you can expect to see her sticker kits in my bullet journal like all the time, because that's just the way I roll. These are the 4 colors that I'm going to be using, like accent colors, and I picked them out to match those 4 main colors that she has in the kit. And you can see that I swatched on the right side to see how closely the color matched. I had a hard time matching that dark blue, but I think I got something that looks good. I also have these washi tapes from Simply Gilded that I pulled out because I thought they would match. I don't actually use many of them in this setup at all, but I pulled them out just in case, and I have them still pulled out and at hand so that when I get to my dailies and things, if I want to use some of those for decoration, they are easily accessible. And now we are ready to move into a time lapse. I was so excited to film this that I actually filmed it a little early. So there's not like a lot of planning that gets done at this stage. I'm just setting things up. Additionally, a extra spin that I thought would be fun to do for this notebook is, even though I'm not going to be picking out my own themes or doing all my own doodles, because I do prefer to use stickers and washi tape, I thought it would be fun when I'm thinking about quotes to go along with things to actually have a theme for those, because I hate those like really general, like inspirational quotes that you put in planners. They kind of annoy me. They're a little cheesy. A lot of them are super, like, I see them so often, I don't want them in my journal. So I thought that it would be really fun to couple my bullet journal setup, which in this case is themed like crystal themed, to couple it with a book. And so my theme is crystals and the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin. And what that means is that all the quotes and things that I pull for this bullet journal setup are from that book. And it was a lot of fun to go through and search like on Goodreads for quotes that would go well with this setup. I picked the 5th season because the magic system in that book is based on the earth, and crystals are like, well, I don't actually know what kind of crystals these are, but in my head they're like gemstones that get mined. I'm talking like rubies and things, and those are in the earth. And so that's why I decided to pick the 5th season as the book that I wanted to go with. And for my cover page, I just put down the crystal sticker and this August sticker, and then I'm lettering in the quote, home is what you take with you, not what you leave behind. And that is a very like timely quote, because August is the month my boyfriend and I are moving apartments, and right now the apartment we're in is our first apartment, and so we're moving and we really like it here. And so it's kind of bittersweet to be moving in August. And I thought that this quote was super appropriate for that. And yeah, and I'm really excited about this idea because I feel like it will bring in the different aspects of my channel. Like the reading sections and the bookish parts of my channel get their planning aspect in my reading journal where I plan my reading. But then my planning stuff, like my bullet journal, gets their bookish like input by these complementary themes. So all of my themes will be two-parted. They'll be part whatever doodles or wherever stickers I decide that I like best for that particular month, and then whatever book I think matches that theme the best, and quotes from that book and hand lettering inspired by that book. So I thought that was fun. And that pretty much is my cover page for August. I'm lining the edge with this washi tape from the June Simply Gilded sub box because I want to be able to find my months, like separate them easily. And so July I lined with some cherry washi tape, and then August I have this holographic tile kind of washi tape. And so for this spread, I'm setting up a really simple 2-page spread of a regular monthly calendar, and I do my monthly calendars with a Sunday start. And I know that's kind of strange, and there's some, like, people in general, there are some that don't like the idea of having a Sunday start in your monthly view, but then a Monday start in your weekly view. But honestly, that's the only way I can function. It's the way most of the planners I've ever had set up their planning, and for me, it makes the most sense. Like, even though I plan by the week with a Monday start purely because that's how my schooling has always been, it doesn't mean that I think the days or the week starts with Monday. Like, when I was in kindergarten, like, you learn that the first day of the week is Sunday. And most of the calendars you see in the world, not the ones I've chosen to set up, start with Sunday. And so when I look at a general block calendar, I expect it to be a Sunday calendar. And when I start my weeks, I start with Mondays because that's the rhythm of my own life. But that doesn't mean that I don't think that the week starts with Sunday. And so this calendar actually starts with Sunday. And yeah, here I am making a little corner spot for the date numbers for the month. So I'm just making these little triangles because I thought that would be interesting, and I was right. I really like how this turns out, and it just took me forever to do. It was, I don't know, it was really hard for me to align the corner dots because they were covered by my thick black lines, and so they were much harder to see, and it was hard for me to know that I was getting the right angles. And so these triangles aren't perfect, but they are fun, and I really enjoy how this spread turned out. And so I have finished putting all the like triangle lines things, and then I color coded them in alternating colors with my 4 accent colors. I put the days of the week stickers on top, and now I'm laying down this large crystal header sticker down at the top so that I can letter in August. And I decided to keep that August super simple. I love my monoline calligraphy the best. Like, I think that my cursive is really nice when I'm working on it, but then if I do too much other stuff to it, I risk it looking bad. So I wanted to leave that simple because I loved how the calendar at the bottom turned out, and I didn't want to mess up this spread. Then I'm just writing in super simply the quote from the 5th season. After all, a person is herself and others. Relationships chisel the final shape of one's being. I am me and you. And to be completely honest, I can't remember when in the book that quote happens, but I thought it was fun, and I put that in there because we're moving. Like, it's so relevant. This idea of someone being composed of their experience, and things are changing, and so there are lots of changes coming up, and I thought that that quote was relevant. Then I have this section on the far right for monthly goals, and so I'm dividing it into 8 subsections, and I've layered this crystal group sticker with the monthly goals sticker that came in the sticker kit, and I'm making colored blocks for all of my goals. And I don't write the goals in here. I wanted to think about them some more, but just so you have an idea of what I put here, I know that I put the Disney-a-thon readathon, which is a readathon that I will be doing in August. I want to complete that. I want to find a part-time job, like a local part-time job. I want to finish and complete the substitute paperwork application material thingamajigs. I want to keep the apartment clean. We're moving. The apartment's going to be the cleanest it'll ever be, and I want to maintain that, something my boyfriend and I have not been very good at in the past. And what else? I did 8 things. So I blamed 4. I cannot think of what the other 4 things might be, but that gives you an idea of what I am looking to accomplish in August. And I'm just decorating this section by alternating the gemstone, like single gemstone stickers. And now I'm going in with these little date numbers and putting them right on the middle of the line, because I thought if I tried to squish them inside the triangle, you wouldn't see enough of the color. And I actually like how this came out a lot. I love the idea of this like slightly off-centered number, and I think it adds a different like layer of dimension to my spread, and I love how this monthly came out. I'm really, really happy with it. I'm also a little sad that not all of Planning with Kay's monthly kits come with these little date numbers anymore. Her older kits came with the date numbers, and the only other date numbers she offers in her shop are the large circle ones that you've seen on my channel before. But these really small ones that are really good for a monthly view, she doesn't sell anymore. She doesn't sell them separately, and she hasn't been including them in her monthly kits. So it's a little sad because I really loved those date numbers. I didn't think I did, but when I used them this particular month, I really liked having them. Now I'm doing a monthly milestone spread, and this is 100% inspired by the monthly milestones spread that Planning with Kay did in her own bullet journal setup when she first released this kit. I will have her channel linked in my description if you want to go check it out. She has a ton of really good videos, and part of why the sticker kit comes with the hand lettering sticker of monthly milestones is that she did this spread herself when she was designing this sticker kit, and when she did this spreads, I think last August, not last August, the August before last August. Not 100% sure about that though. Maybe it was November. Actually, I think she designed this kit in November, but I'm still not sure. And in her spread, she drew a lot of like sticky notes, but I can't draw sticky notes. So I have these like off-centered squares and banners and weird shapes to hold my monthly milestones. And the way she described it was as like a place to hold some of the big things that happened in a month or something like that. I don't remember. But the way I'm using this spread is to mark some of the big like good things that happen in a month. You know, milestones. You know, if I get a certain amount of YouTube subscribers, or if someone makes a comment that I really like, or if I manage to get a job that in August like I hope to, or if I am able to like successfully prepare for the start of grad school, or if we move in and things go super well and I like some part of how we've set up the new apartment. Things like that are what I anticipate putting in here. Um, Anything that is just something I'm excited about and want to really highlight. And I thought about putting this in my EC planner because that's where I keep most of my, like, not just my planning spreads, but also my non-planning spreads. But this is the kind of spread I wanted to be able to have with me. And since my bullet journal is the planner that goes with me places, I wanted to have this with me so that as soon as something happens and like I know I want to write it down, I can do that. And I won't be tempted to like wait until later and then just completely forget to do anything. So I'm going to finish filling this out and then color it in with some of my accent colors, and then I'll be back to keep talking about my setup. Okay, so I'm just about done setting this up. Really, the colors I picked were pretty random. My only thought was in trying to make a fairly even distribution of color, and I started to run out of shape ideas by the time I got to this weird little circle with a banner. I don't really like this shape. I think it's kind of awkwardly constructed, but it was the only idea I had. I didn't want to keep using the same kinds of shapes. As you can see, I have like 3 different iterations of the rectangle with a drop box. So I was really trying to go for something different down there, and I hope to keep experimenting with shapes in this kind of spread if I choose to keep using it. The next spread that I set up is my habit tracker, and that was hard to set up. Things, even though I measured things out beforehand, I must have done something wrong because it did not work the way I thought it would, and I had to kind of adapt on the go. I do start with this large header sticker from the kit, and then I put in the habit tracker script sticker, and I wasn't going to have a habit tracker. I've mentioned this before, but I don't typically, I'm really bad at going back to look at monthly habit trackers. If I have a habit tracker and if it works at all, it's because I use it in my weekly spread. But the kit came with this habit tracker script, and I wanted to be able to use all of the really nice header stickers, and I don't know, I just wanted to give it a try. I also thought that it would really, this is just for fun. I could easily put my habit tracker in my weekly spread. That's what I did for the last couple of weeks of July, but I wanted to see how this would look, and I haven't done a habit tracker spread quite like this almost ever. I think at the very end of my last really serious stint with bullet journaling, I had started a habit tracker similar to this kind of style, but didn't keep up with it because I stopped bullet journaling shortly after. Or I used to put too many habits. And what I really want to work on is keeping up with my habit tracker so that it can be an actual tool. And so I really limited my habits this month, which is another reason why I thought it would make sense to put it on a monthly tracker, because then I can really work on a certain amount of habits for a whole month. With my weekly habit trackers, I feel like my habits vary from week to week, and it kind of changes based on how I'm feeling, and that's good because on the one hand it's flexible and I can choose to focus on certain things or focus on other things depending on what's happening in my life and what I think is most important for me to focus on. But it also means that I'm not getting consistent focus on certain things, and I'm not thinking about them regularly. I think about them for a week, and then maybe the next week I decide to change it. But these are 4 habits that I knew I wanted to focus on for the month of August. The first is to be up by 7 a.m. My boyfriend and I only recently got our sleeping schedule back on track, more or less. Today I woke up at 8, which isn't 7 a.m., but it's not 4 p.m., which is where I was like 4 or 5 days ago, I think. Then it's also to track when I shower. I hope my foot will start getting better so that I can get back into a regular person's shower schedule. Just showering, most days. And then to tidy up, because we will be moving in the month of August, and I want to get into the habit of regularly tidying so that we do not have to go through this cycle that we're currently in of deep cleaning under stressful conditions and then waiting a week or 2 or 3 until things fall apart and the apartment's a wreck and things get gross, and then deep cleaning under duress once again. I don't want to do that. I want to have a consistently clean apartment. I want people to be able to say they're coming last minute and for it to not be a big deal because the apartment is clean and people can just walk right in and not feel like they're about to die. That's my goal. So mark that. And then the last one is to study, because I haven't really been that serious about my independent study this month. Definitely not as serious as I thought I would be. And that's mostly because I did commit to a pretty big readathon, and that has been my focus. And honestly, I'm not mad about it because, well, sometimes I'm mad about it, but I really shouldn't be. This is a very rare time where I do not have commitments in a way that just hasn't happened in years, like not since I was a small child, and will not happen again for like a very long time. So I want to just relax while I have the chance, and it's very hard for me to do. And I go through a period of like a week where I'm fairly relaxed, going at my own pace, and then I think, wait a second, I haven't done anything, I need to do all the things, and then I plan a lot of stuff, and then I stress myself out, and then I have a breakdown. That's what happened yesterday. So I need to stop doing that. That being said, I also really want to get my independent study done before classes start, because I don't want to have to do it in between other things. And so next month, when I don't have as big a readathon, I am doing a readathon, and you'll hear more about that. Actually, you will have heard about it in my August reading journal setup, but it's smaller. I'm not going to commit to doing all the prompts. I have a 5 prompt path and then a few other books that I want to try to read, but nothing like what I'm trying to do right now. Then beneath this spread, I have another quote from the 5th season, and this one says, "It is a gift if it makes us better. It is a curse if we let it destroy us." And I thought that was nice for a habit tracker, because habits are supposed to be things that make you better. And if a habit's not working, or if a habit makes you feel bad about yourself, then maybe that's not the habit you should be focusing on. Maybe there's something else you should be doing. And a habit tracker also shouldn't make you feel horrible. It should be a place for you to check in, get a sense of where you are, but not ruin your life, you know? And I feel like sometimes there's a lot of pressure to like have a perfect habit tracker, but that shouldn't be the case. You know, a habit tracker is meant to help you, and if it starts to overwhelm you, then it's not what you should be doing right then, and that's perfectly okay. So yeah. The next few spreads that I set up are to keep track of my memory notes, because for my memory planner, because I want to be able to, I like having just a list of things I actually did in a day, and not a list of things where some things are marked off, other things are scratched off and changed around and kind of messy, which is what my day-to-day planning spreads look like. For my memory spreads, I like to reference just a set of notes that I know I want to include in my memory journal. And so in the past, this has been kept in my Kikki.K planner, but I stopped really checking that when I stopped using it regularly. And so that wasn't good, because I wasn't writing stuff down, and I really want to be good at memory keeping. I've almost done it. Actually, I have done it for 6 months straight, and I really enjoy it, so I want to keep doing it. And the best way to do it, I know, is going to be to do it in a form that I can carry with me, and as soon as things happen, like multiple times throughout the day, I can check in and write down what I know I want to have marked. So I have this really basic week on 1 page spread, and I have each one a different color. I start on August 5th, and I'm just marking the dates down the left side of the page with one of my pink accent colors, and then the other page I'm marking with the dark blue accent color. I think it's the dark blue. Yeah, the dark blue. And I'm just numbering down the side again. And it's super, super simple. Just a place to hold a handful of things that happened each day, but enough space. I think if I tried to do like 2 weeks on a page, I wouldn't have quite enough space. And yeah, then I'm just dashing a few, or sprinkling a few of the gemstones decoration stickers up at the top. And I really love how these spreads came out. They're super pretty, they're nice, and they'll be a good place to hold things until I get to my memory spreads. And so I did that on the first 2 pages from August 5th through the 18th, and then for these next 2 pages I cover August 19th through September 1st. And they're exactly the same. The only thing that I change about these 2 spreads is that I make one purple and the other light blue to use up the last couple of my accent colors. And now I'm moving into the first part of my first weekly spread for the bullet journal. And I only set up part of it because I'm not sure whether I want to have some kind of 2-page situation for my weekly spreads, or just 1 page and then jump into my dailies like I did for July. I also don't know what kind of dailies I want to be setting up. I didn't know anything. So I'm setting up these rectangles. Oh, except that I, wanted to have this particular spread. But I'm setting up these rectangles that are 7 spaces tall by 11 spaces wide, and then at the very bottom I'm just kind of centering that last one so that I can have 7 days without a weird awkward space, because I have right now most of it is divided by 2, but then at the bottom I only have 1 day. And I end up just going in, actually I don't know what I do first. What do I do first? Oh, so I decide to add some decoration to the bottom. I'm cutting these crystal stickers in half, and I am setting them up on each side of the last Sunday box to balance out that bottom section, which looks a little bare without like 2 boxes in the bottom. And now I'm going in and I'm adding a colorful drop shadow to the boxes, and I'm just alternating which boxes get what color, and I'm using all 4 of my colors to have this little drop shadow. And I did leave 2 spaces in between all of my boxes because I knew that my shadow would take up approximately 1 space, and I wanted to still have 1 space in between all my boxes. And so I go through with all of those, and then I believe I work on my what do you call it? I put in my dates, and I start by writing in the actual numbers, so August 5th through the 11th, and then I use the day stickers in the kit, these little thin blue ones that are just a blue swatch and then the day on them. And I really love how this spread came out. It's super cute. I add a bit more deco and then also put an August header up at the top. And now we are ready to flip through all of these spreads that I did today. I love how they came out. I'm so excited for August. We've got my cover page, my monthly milestones page, and my habit tracker page. Then we've got the daily memory notes pages, and I think in my weeklies I will try to bring in more quotes from the 5th season, and so you'll find those in my weekly setups, and you'll see whether I do that and how I do that. But that's my setup for August. That's what I am working with right now. I will show you some of my leftover stickers, and that concludes this video. I hope you like what you've seen, and I will see you next time. Bye.